Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be listening or watching Pro Wrestling World Talks. I am your host, Dan, and I am joined by my best friend of over 20 years. And I feel ashamed sometimes that I dragged him back into this world. Pulling and screaming, especially this week, I'm just like, I can't believe my friends have to deal with this crap yet again. We were just talking about in the pre-show about Joe Hendry and Danhausen segment from Raw.
Didn't happen. Nope.
And it's just like, it didn't happen? No, it didn't. Never happened. It never happened.
What's with the Scotty right there? What's with the British or Scottish accent right there? What happened? What the fuck was that?
I can't do it, Captain. Yeah. I just can't let it go. The fact now that it was the go-home edition of Monday Night Raw, and many people are saying this, that it is
it's not just
one of
saying
the
it,
worst.
Sports Illustrated saying it.
Many people are saying this.
Sports Illustrated saying it. Everybody's saying it. Sorry, I throw a little Becky in there.
That Monday's Raw was one of the worst in the history of the show.
It was upsetting.
And I think to myself, I mean, were these people not watching in 2019? Were these people like, not just, because, there's, was it bad? I mean, yeah, it was bad. But I don't know historically if it was bad, because it's just been some clunkers.
It wasn't dog food bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was bad, but it wasn't dog food bad.
It was bad. It wasn't dog food bad. That's right. That was pretty damn bad. But this is still pretty darn bad. Like it's still pretty one where you're just sitting there and you're like, yeah. And then you see Braun Breaker being held like a hostage. Oh, the face on the look on his face of just like, please God, just get me out of this. Please God, just get me out of here. And it's like all the reports of just him being upset backstage, and then you just see the facial reaction of him this week on TV. You're like, maybe those rumors are true. Maybe Braun is a bit unhappy. And I mean, the fact is that you have Damian Priest openly saying it in promos. Maybe it was written in, maybe it wasn't. That there are certain talents and superstars tired of the same people challenging for the world titles over and over again. As Damian Priest was saying that to one Cody Rhodes, who will be challenging CM Punk this Saturday night at SummerSlam Night 1. Should be just one night. But Night 1.
It's funny that you say that in that context, because it's literally the tale of two nights.
Oh, God. It's like Night 1 is... Night 1 is just like, yeah. It's like, why even watch Sunday?
You could probably miss the majority of Sunday and tune into maybe one or two matches and be good.
Yeah.
I feel like Night 2, in this case, is an afterthought. They've overstacked Saturday. Saturday is the show. Sunday is the afterthought. And it's unfortunate that they kind of did it this way, because literally you could look at Night 1 and Night 2 and just go, exactly like you said, like, I can miss this.
Yeah, it's it also is just telling to me. I don't think it's Roman, because I don't think the shine, because Roman, I think, is still a pretty shiny toy, but I think the Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns story, or Seth Rollins in general, I think people are just like, yeah. Because everybody's talking Cody and CM Punk.
Yeah, but it's also more of a haven't we seen this a million times already with Roman
That's
and
true.
Seth? Because we have.
That's true. This actually, the main event that is happening on night one between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. This was the joke that Brian Last used to make on the Cornette podcast, where he'd be like, the biggest match in AEW history, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. That was one of the biggest jokes that Brian Last used to make about AEW on the Cornette's podcast. And now, night one for SummerSlam, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes.
I know. It's so bad. Yeah, I didn't listen. We might as well talk about it first since we're already talking about it. So I have the card up. It's obviously on the screen as well, but we're going to go through it night by night. So night one is Liv Morgan defending her Women's World Championship against Io Sky. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys versus the Bloodlines, Jacob Fatu, and the Usos in a 6-man tag match. Gunther and Nick Aldis in a singles match. We talked about that last week.
I am glad that's on night one.
I am as well. And then it is going to be apparently a 6-women tag, which I did not know this was going to be a 6-women tag. Apparently, this is maybe something that was announced after the fact, but it is now going to be the Bella Twins, Nikki and Brie, and Paige against all of Fatal Influence, which is Shacey Jane, Laney Reed, and Fallon Henley. And then your most likely main event is going to be for the undisputed WWE Championship. CM Punk, as you already alluded to, will defend against Cody Rhodes, and that will close out night one.
Yes, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, many people are saying this, that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk is the biggest matchup of the weekend. It's really hard to argue, especially with the amount of tickets that have been moved for Saturday night compared to Sunday. Saturday's the hot ticket.
Why. Can't imagine why.
Well, you're getting a Hell in a Cell match, and then on top of that, you're getting, I think, the superior of the world title match main events. You can argue that Cody and Punk should be the main event for night two. You can make that argument. But then you want to keep Seth Rollins happy because he's just like, I'm not a night one main event guy. I can't be a night one main event guy.
It's SummerSlam, though. It's not fucking WrestleMania. But
I know. But
I get what you're saying, though. I don't disagree with anything you just said. I think it's hard to. The only thing that I would maybe change would and this is more like optics, is maybe put Penta and Gable on night one instead of night two. And then I don't know what you move, though. That's the only thing. But I feel like there are good matches on night two.
Maybe the 6-woman tag.
Yeah. Hard to disagree. I did not know that Nikki Bella was cleared. I did not know this was a 6-woman tag. Last time I saw it, I thought this was for the women's tag championships, so I'm a little surprised. But I am curious if now they're going to pull a turn for Nikki since she was a heel before. I wonder if that's finally going to happen with Brie now.
I wonder if Paige is going to turn,
I think they're going to turn on Paige, to be honest. And I think they should, because I think Paige, it's time for a solo run.
Well, of course. She needs to be back in the mix for the title, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Plenty of people for her to work with, too, that would want to work with her as well. So,
yeah. I was even thinking that last week, and I'm like, yeah, you got Paige back, but you're not doing dick with her, so.
No.
I think it's time to pull the trigger, and the good way to do that would be to have Brie turn on her. And
nice play on words, by the way, on her with that.
On what?
Nothing.
Okay. I think we haven't even really talked about this outside of the show, but funny enough, I think we should now. ironically on the show. I think night 1 is the theater show. Just gonna say that out loud.
Oh yeah. No, that was already just. We didn't even discuss it.
I know, that's why I'm saying
Like it was
let's
like
do it now.
I don't even need to. We're not even bringing it up. It's like, I already know that someone has already told me he'll not be making it.
Of course.
Well, he's on the mend. He's on the mend.
So I can't find it because I'm mobile right now. So of course I can't find the soundbite. But I wonder if you got it. I wonder if you got his Boorand removed. He got his Boorand removed. Anyways, yeah, I think night 1
implant or something. I don't know what the fuck was
maybe
going
you
on.
got a new Boorand put in. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe a new Boorand.
Yep, new Boorand.
A new Boorand for the Boorand.
Yep. Mystery organ there. It's hard to look at night 1 against night 2. It really is, and I know there's people out there who are going to be disappointed by some of the matches on either night, regardless for whatever reason. I'm not going to sit here and say that night 2 is by any stretch of the imagination a slouch. We do have some great matches, so we're going to go through them right now. So we can kind of talk about them holistically after if we want to. So on night 2, we have Trick Williams defending his U.S. Championship against Baron Corbin. We have a singles match to determine the number 1 contender coming out of SummerSlam for the undisputed WWE Championship, which would be Sami Zayn against Finn Balor. We have a Human Money is on a pole match. The winner is going to keep the $100,000 that Danhausen supposedly stole from the Judgment Day, and that will be Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio. We have Penta and Chad Gable, a singles match for the Intercontinental Championship. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. We have a ladder match to determine the interim WWE Women's Championship. It's going to be Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Chelsea Green, and Charlotte Flair, and we will, find out the last slot on Friday night SmackDown this week.
Chelsea.
It better be Chelsea.
Yeah.
The mystery slot is going to either Julia or Lash Legend. We don't know who yet. We'll find out on SmackDown. And then, as we already talked about in the main event, your World Heavyweight Championship match, Roman Reigns will defend against Seth Rollins.
Ugh. I mean, great.
No, you were right the first time. It's hard to be excited about that match. It's just, we've seen it a million times already.
It's just...
And for what?
It's...
Roman's not going to drop the belt.
They're not even on the same fucking playing field. As far as talents are concerned either. It's not even close anymore.
If Roman drops the belt, it's because somebody turns.
Or someone's hurt or something.
No, it's quite literally, it's because somebody turns.
Well, that's true.
And you have the opportunity to drop that hint on Saturday in the 6-man tag match.
You wonder too, and I've said this extensively. I've mentioned this in the past. The looming, and also too, I feel like the seeds have been planted concerning the fact of that Paul Heyman is no longer with the Vision. Paul Heyman, I feel like, is going to be involved in night 1 or night 2 in the main event. Or both.
I think that you're on the right track. I think that if you're going to have Paul and Roman reunite, it should be on night 2.
Yes.
And I think that if Roman and Seth are on night 2, and I hate to kind of say it this way, that is quite literally the only fucking reason they would be on night 2.
Yes.
And if I'm wrong, then I would really question their booking decisions.
Night 1, sorry to cut you off.
No. I'm more or less done. Go ahead.
Night 1, the factor of if you're going to do it night 1, let's say, even though I don't think you are, I feel like even though night one last year did have the surprise of Rollins cashing in on Punk. So I don't know if night one you're going to leave people shocked by doing a turn that night in Cody Rhodes turning heel with Paul Heyman.
Oh, not with Paul Heyman, no. I think Cody could turn on night one, but I don't think it would be with Paul.
Yeah. I do feel like that Paul involved in the night two main event completely makes more sense.
Oh,
And
100%.
if you're running back the bloodline, why not go full board and give Roman his wise man back? Because that's the only thing too. It's like, I wouldn't hate it. Not going to sit here and be like, no, not going to, I understand the criticism that people are having in the sense of that you're just running back for 3 to 4 years ago. Well, that's
3-4 years ago, fucking worked.
That's exactly. They were 3 to 4 years ago. It did work. Maybe some of the semantics have changed. Maybe the fact that the goodwill is long gone than what they had a couple of years ago, as far as booking standards and as far as if they made a mistake or people didn't like something, they at least had time to kind of, people are like, give it time, guys. It's fine. It'll work out. Where lately it's just been like, what are we doing here? What's going on here? And then it's just like Triple H going on podcasts and saying that, oh, the fans just need to kind of lower the expectations sometimes. Yeah, maybe they should stop like reading dirt sheets. And that's like, again, that's only a certain percentage of wrestling fans. That's not everybody. Not everybody looks for dirt sheets. Not everybody looks at the Observer or like Fightful. They don't do that. The only reason that I do it is because, I got to stay up to date on stuff when something
But
happens.
that's different, though. That's very, very different, I feel like. And here's the thing, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's inherently wrong to say that. But I think that's a two-part statement that shouldn't be said together. I do think that some of the fans should lay off the dirt sheets at some points. I'm not saying, a fan like you or I, who are more or less pundits as well. I'm saying the everyday fan.
Yes.
And but I also think that, again, two-part statement. I don't think that the fans should lower their expectations. I think the fans have the correct expectations. I just think you don't book to them. Which, listen,
I'm not booked.
It's fine if you don't book. No, you're fine. It's fine if you don't book to the fans' expectations, but you're also not booking to a high level, and that I cannot understate. Because before she was hurt, which we'll say was 2 months ago, how many times did Rhea defend the title after WrestleMania? I think it was like once or twice, at most twice.
Liv's been champion now 100 days, and she hasn't defended the title once.
Exactly. How many times was Liv champion? 100, like you said, just past 100. How many times did she defend the title? Dan, you just said it. 0. You can't count the Queen of the Ring. That's not a belt. She's also not defending it. So, and then, another note from Raw is they still tease this leg injury that Io supposedly has. It's just, I can't anymore. And then for what is this match? So Liv's going to retain, and then Stephanie's going to come out and do a shock return. It's not going to be shocking to anybody.
Yeah.
It's tough. And then you are not defending the tag belts in the show. Any of them. You're not defending any of the tag belts in the show. Your SmackDown team is basically defending them in AAA at this point, because you have the War Raiders as tag champions in AAA, and on Raw, you were World Tag Team Champions defending on Raw, which is against Alpha Academy or Alpha Babes, whatever the hell they're going by now, which everybody knew they were going to blow that match. And now, quote unquote, Otis is out indefinitely. Great. So you're not defending those belts at all. I don't think any of the women mid-card championships are on the line because Tiffany is in the ladder match and Raquel Rodriguez just won that match, which I keep saying it for some of this talent, but justice for Sol Ruca too, man, because they're not booking her very effectively either.
Well, they obviously didn't, considering the fact of that she just lost to Raquel Rodriguez this past weekend.
Yep.
This past Monday.
On Raw.
I know it was a Roxanne Perez, but it's just like I know that Raquel Gonzalez and then Rodriguez, there was the change there. So sometimes it's just like, oh, she doesn't go by that name. It's like, really? Okay.
Well, she did, so.
But the funny thing is that you're right, because Sal Rook really didn't get that was supposed to be like a big major moment. They did nothing with her reign, and now it's just like they decided to change it on the go home show on the go home Raw before SummerSlam. And justice for Sol Ruca on that one, because geez. And you wonder who's going to take the last spot for the ladder match for the women, because it's like one with Julia, who's just been like spinning her wheels since she's been on the main roster. And I know everybody's just like, well, she's been U.S. champion. Has she?
Yeah, for a cup of coffee. I mean, I'm going to say it this way. And it's
who's her opponent? I'm sorry for
Lash.
Tomorrow.
Lash.
Who's been on the rise, but at the same time.
So here's what I'm going to say. It should be Lash.
It should be.
Because, first of all, you did Nia Jax dirty and put in Charlotte Flair instead, which, fine, whatever, I get it. But it should be Lash, because at the end of the day, you remember how Julia and Kiana James had their feud?
Yes.
Do you know how they ended that feud, by the way?
No.
On fucking Main Event.
Oh. God.
So let her come out and let them rekindle that and actually have a decent blow off somewhere else other than fucking Main Event.
Wow.
Yep. Last time those two fought was on Main Event.
Some of the people that they give so much television time, like it's just, and then it's just, well, we're going to put you guys on Main Event. For what? Nothing?
I saw something funny. So I don't always...
Like, perfect example, Baron Corbin a month ago was an MLW, and now he's in the WWE at SummerSlam wrestling for a championship.
So here's the thing, right? And it's funny because I saw this on social media. It's people talk about it all the time, of like, oh, this guy's got to go to AEW, this guy's got to go to WWE, and now Mike Santana's in NXT, and then, Grayson Waller had his fucking rant promo, whatever you want to call it, in NXT the other day about, the rosters and everything like that.
Oh, what a promo from a guy who can cut a promo.
Yeah, I don't care. Here's the whole moral of the story, though. People love to talk about what other people are going to do in other promotions or in other shows. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because they have to get booked. If they're not going to get booked, it's a waste, right?
Not booked.
But herein lies the problem. If they go and they do get booked, whose time are they taking? That's not a question a lot of people don't ask. So let's lay that out right now, because I can think of no better example, and I hate it because I love him, but it's Danhausen. And granted, people are going to be like, well, he's on TV, but he's backstage segments. Okay, if that segment goes 3 minutes, he's taking 3 minutes from somebody else. He's not working. Not quote unquote working, if you want to say it that way, because he's not wrestling.
That's right.
So whose time is he taking? Is he taking Lara Valkyria's? Is he taking Sol Ruca's? Is he taking Roxanne Perez or Raquel Rodriguez? Whose time is he taking? You have to ask that question because at the end of the day, you have so much talent that they have that they're not doing absolute D with.
No.
And another example of that, and I keep saying the name because they keep just shafting her at this point, I feel like, is Jordan Grace.
Yes, it is really annoying what they've done with Jordan Grace.
It
really is.
Bothers the crap out of me because she's so incredibly talented. She's got the look. What are you doing? Just what are you doing?
I just don't know.
And it's frustrating because you can have a lot of and they teased it. They teased her and Jade, and they just didn't do anything with it. And it's so frustrating. And yeah, she got booked on main event, but it's like, okay, and who's
It's
watching main event? Nobody.
Hardcores.
If that, but yeah. And it's so frustrating. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Danhausen hasn't earned it. He 100% has. He's selling merch for them. He's getting them in the news with the whole thing with the Knicks. Like, he earned his spot. I'm not going to say otherwise. But when you look at the time investor that they've put into him, and we talked about Raw already, might as well talk about it again. Him and Joe Hendry having a concert of all things that, hey, good for you. You're getting on television. You're getting your time. And people are going to think it's funny. But maybe not in a good way.
Right. Maybe not the way that you think.
Wrestling is meant to be fun and hokey sometimes. This really wasn't that fun, and it was overly hokey to the point of being corny as hell.
Right.
And yeah, okay, great, but I don't know who that segment targets. It just wasn't me. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't me.
6-year-olds.
If that, yeah. It's tough. It's a tough spot right now. Good for him getting on the SummerSlam card. Not for nothing. Same with Dom, obviously. Good for you. It's just I don't.
Just like his dad, Eddie Guerrero, in 2005 in a ladder match for custody.
Custody of the $100,000, I guess.
It is going to be a battle for the custody of human monies. I mean, come on. If Eric Bischoff was booking, it was going to be a bottle of Geritol and a pole match.
I'm just not going to touch that. I look at the card, and like I said to open the show, it is the tale of two nights.
First time ever on Monday Night Quill.
Monday Night Quill.
Monday Night Quill. Mongo, I fired him. I fired him over the fun nonetheless. But I still fired him.
But yeah, it literally is the tale of two nights. This entire card is set up for night one, night two. Outside of a match here and there, it's like I could miss this entire show and not be disappointed.
ESPN is just thinking to themselves like, "Oh, well, have Saturday night, no problem." Sunday, it's just like, oh, God. As you're running up on a pose, really. You're going up against the N. You're not going. You're going up the. I'm thinking the NBA for a second. It's like no. You're thinking you're going up against baseball. That's pretty much your competition this weekend. There's really not much else going on in the world of sports. The Hall of Fame was last weekend for Major League Baseball. Their Fall Classic was also less than a month ago. So they're kind of running unopposed right now this weekend. And you wonder if they're going to be able to garner a decent audience and decent attention. Saturday night, I think that they have a really good chance of that.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night, I think the main event will draw some attention, depending on what the finish is going to be on Sunday night. Also, will be drawing attention. As time goes on, the more Paul Heyman I just feel like is going to get sucked back into the Roman world. That Roman orbit, it's just going to have Paul Heyman in it again. And I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it because he has history with both of them too, so they can make it make sense regardless.
Plus, anything bad happening to Seth Rollins, I'm all for.
I'm not going to say that, but creatively, sure, yeah.
Creatively, yes, wrestling wise.
I think I'm more excited to see who comes back or makes an appearance than I am for the entirety of the Night 2 card.
Fair.
And I can say the same about Night 1, obviously, as well. But Night 1, I feel like has more to it. I'm not gonna say Night 2 doesn't. Night 2 does have the Human Money on a pole. Night 2 does have the ladder match for the women. Those would be fun, and that Penta and Chad, I think, would be a great match. I think
that'd be a great match.
I think that if there's a match that might steal the entire weekend, that might be it. You got two really uber and talented guys that could go, and I think they could put on something special.
At least for Night 2, yes. I think overall the weekend is that if I would have to pick, and I'm sure that everybody's probably just like, well, you're going to be, it's like, well, I'm going with Cody and Punk. I feel like that's going to be the best match of the weekend.
But I'm saying if a match could steal the weekend.
No, I know. I agree. Penta and Chad Gable would be a real good contender of that. But, yeah.
It's going to be hard.
You're right, though. It's going to be hard.
I do think that the must-see match is definitely Cody and CM Punk. But I feel like if a match is going to steal it, it's going to be that Penta and Chad Gable match.
100%. And then the only reason that people are going to really care about Roman and Seth is the finish.
I mean, yeah, of course. And again, that's why I'm saying you got to watch. They're smart to put the Bloodline in the other match on Saturday and have Roman and Seth on Sunday.
Yes.
Because you can tease something with that. You can definitely tease something with that. Whether they will or not, I don't know. But they have a chance to do that. I do agree that I think Paul plays a role in the finish of Night 2. He should, especially considering the history there between both of them. Whether they're smart enough to pull the trigger on it, though, that's entirely different story.
I think they're going to pull the trigger, though, because I think they're going to want to keep. They're at a point as a company right now where they just want to make sure that things. They might have to go back to where things to see if it's if it sticks again and it'll work.
It's hard to say that because for me, I don't know what that looks like. It's the best way I can say it. I don't know if that is the Bloodline. I don't know if that's Cody being champion. Because I know what you mean, obviously, but when you say it like that, you got to ask the questions. And I think when you ask those questions, it's hard because I don't know if there is a way out of the funk that they're putting themselves in at times.
Well, I mean, it's just frustrating because you know how good of a company they could be.
Oh,
when they're rocking and rolling, you know how good they can be. You know they can put on great shows. They have the ability to do that. But just coming into this weekend, it's just like Night 1 is just stacked beyond belief. And then Night 2 is just like, it's like that three-headed dragon meme.
Yeah.
It's like Night 2. It's like, so.
I think it's tough as well because, and I have to say it, if they can make it out of the weekend, I don't know how much good faith I can really give them. Because they've done it in the past. They've had really good shows and then just blown ass the next show. Or done nothing the next show. And it's always like a big four. I feel like we've said this after every big four the last year and a half. I know we have out of War Games. I know we have out of SummerSlam. We've always given them the benefit of the doubt and been like, okay, great. And then a month later, it's like, Well, that sucked. It's just tough. I don't know how much more good faith I could really just sit there and give them. I hope they make it out of the weekend. I hope SummerSlam's a great show. I hope that if it is a good show, that they have a plan moving forward. And I hope that, me being biased here, that those plans include some talent that, as you kind of alluded to before with the Damian Priest comments, that involves somebody different. Or if it's somebody that's the same, that's okay, but make it make sense. And I'll throw another name out here because it's been a few months. I was going to say Jordan Grace, but I've already said that. We haven't seen Drew McIntyre in a while.
No, not since WrestleMania.
I don't know when he's due back, but it'll be a good time. It'd be a very good time.
Maybe.
You got to bring somebody in, or same with Randy Orton. Haven't seen Randy.
Rekindle the Punk feud.
I mean, or screw Cody over and get him out of the title picture for a little bit.
That's true.
Which you can use Gunther to do that too, not for nothing. Or
that's true.
You could have used Sammy or Finn Balor, but you're already doing that on night 2, so you can still use them, I guess, though, not for nothing.
That's true.
So I mean, I think so. We might as well just talk about predictions now, but I think Cody loses. I think Cody has to lose.
Cody has to lose.
But Cody has to lose.
Cody has to lose.
And not for nothing, Cody is far better when he chases anyways. I'm just going to say it.
I agree.
And it's like that way, but it's the truth. He is.
You just gave Punk the title. I think Punk has already done the favors at WrestleMania for Roman. You kind of got to give him a big win at a big 4 pay-per-view to hold on to the title. And I think that should be the strategy and the absolute pick of what I would do. And keep the belt on Punk and also just keep the belt out of the hands of Cody. Not like it's Cody's fault that everything that's just been going on. It's just like, yeah, you need some time away.
They don't know how to book him as champion. That's the problem.
They don't.
It's not him. It's definitely not him.
They don't know how to book babyface champions to begin with.
Yeah, not going to agree or disagree with that statement, but I see why you're saying it. I think they've booked him well in some programs, but it's not all of them, and that's fine. But like, you can't have a mixed match reign like that. It doesn't work, and that's exactly the category that he falls in. He's had decent feuds. The feud with Gunther was very good, but Gunther's a natural heel. That's not all of them. Like remember the first feud was AJ Styles, and I'm like, what? He's like, what are you doing? And then some of the other guys, they tried to turn heel for him. I'm like, no, stop it. What are you trying to do right now? And that was always my biggest gripe, and that continued. So for me, I've always thought he was better chasing. The story of him getting the title against Roman was very, very well done. Even the segues that they had with guys like Brock Lesnar was good. It's just, it can't always work. So, fine, whatever. At the end of the day, I think that he needs to lose this match. It's not that against him. I just think he's better chasing, and you agreed with that. So just kind of going right to left on the picture here, we started with that. Brock and Oba, I don't think... I think everybody knows this is Brock's legitimate last match, so I think Oba's going over here. It makes the most sense. I think you're muted.
It's been reported earlier today that Brock is not retiring.
Oh.
They expect him to be at WrestleMania next year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I still think he needs to lose, though.
He's going to lose, but I don't think he's retiring.
Okay. If he's not, he's not. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with either way,
Yeah. Liv and EO. I think Liv is winning this.
Oh, absolutely.
With or without help, that's the question. I feel like more than her winning or losing. but I do think that she's gonna win here. The next one is Nick Aldis and Gunther. I kind of think Gunther's gonna win. They could do a shock and awe thing though with Nick winning, but I think Gunther's gonna win. What's up? You're muted again.
Oh, am I?
Yep, you were.
Okay, sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. What were we saying? Sorry.
Nick and Gunther.
Nick and Gunther. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Aldis wins.
I wouldn't
But
either, but I feel like
I think Gunther's going to win.
Yeah. It's more or less what I feel too. Do the 6-man tag match first. So Usos versus and Jacob Fatu, excuse me, versus Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight.
I feel like Solo's turning, so
I think that the Bloodline needs to lose.
yeah, but I feel like Solo's turning.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I've seen that being speculated a lot. My other speculation could very well be that Royce Keys might turn, or that Jacob Fatu might turn. I think any of those. I think any of those guys could turn. And
that's true.
That's the big issue that I take with it, because Royce and Jacob are boys, and you could play that fiddle for a long time with either one of them turning. So I think that needs to be factored in, but I also believe that the Solo Sikoa turning is also a very valid theory as well.
Yes.
And then lastly, the 6-women tag match, Fatal Influence against Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins, and Paige.
Fatal Influence.
Yeah, because I do think that somebody's going to turn on the other team, whether it be
exactly
Brie or Paige. I don't know who, but and it's not that they're turning towards Fatal Influence, just that they're turning on one another.
Right.
Make that clear now. Unless Fatal Influence is growing, which I highly doubt is going to happen right now, but who's to say? All right, so that
Paige in there.
What's up?
Unless they put Paige in there.
They could, but
it's a possibility.
Be a little weird to me. I feel like.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, true. All right, so night 2, we'll start. I think right to left at the bottom. So Baron Corbin and Trick. I think Trick absolutely needs to
Trick.
Yeah.
Trick.
Chad Gable and Penta. This one's a little.
You know what? I'm going Chad Gable.
I think a lot of people are. I don't think you build him up just to have him lose to Penta.
No, I think that you got to capitalize on the momentum somehow. That from what you got from AAA, you kind of got to keep this going. So, and Penta losing really isn't a bad thing. He can take the loss.
It doesn't hurt Penta, and you can open him up for a championship run.
Exactly.
Or something with his brother Ray. So either way, I would be fine with either one. All right, so next we'll do Sami Zayn against Finn Balor. Yeah. Listen, I like both these guys, don't get me wrong. But
Finn's been on a roll, too.
Finn has been on a roll. I don't want to see them go after the title so soon. That's my only gripe. I don't know who I would want it to be honest with you, but my first 2 choices would not have been Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. That being said, though, it would depend on what happens in night 1.
Mm-hmm.
If CM Punk wins, they've already done CM Punk and Finn Balor. They've already done CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want either one of those. If Cody was to win, I would want Finn Balor, because it's not something they've really done a lot of. and they
No.
haven't done it as recently as any of the other 3 matches
No.
possibilities. Having said that, if CM Punk does win, I'd probably want Sami Zayn, ironically enough.
That's
You can
yeah.
turn that into something. You can turn it into a storyline. Finn Balor right now is a little bit too much of a babyface, I feel like, to go against CM Punk. Not saying I don't want it, because they have done it, but it was once and it was several months ago. It's just, I don't know, man. Can they both lose? Can they both lose?
It's true. Can they both lose?
Can
we just put in a third participant?
I'm going to have to go with the pundit answer in me, though, is Finn Balor.
Man, I'm leaning towards Finn.
All right. Human Money is on a pole match. Dominic Mysterio against Danhausen.
Danhausen.
The pundit in me is saying Dom.
But Dom is cursed.
Dom is cursed, but somebody else is not. And we don't know who somebody else is, but I really do feel like they need to introduce a new member of the Judgment Day, and I would not be surprised if they do that at SummerSlam.
You never know, though. There could be a celebrity that
That's true. You're very true.
Somehow to pull out. Oh my God! It's Justin Jeffries.
That was not the name that I would have thought of, but okay.
Kevin Garnett.
Sure. I don't know.
Anthony Edwards.
I don't know. I really don't know. I just wouldn't have gone with that. That's all. I don't know who I would have thought of, but it wouldn't have been that. You're not wrong, though. The celebrity still love Danhausen, and it is in Minnesota, so who the hell knows? But I think that no matter who wins this match, there's still a winner.
Yes.
Because it's going to be a fun match. It'll be something different. It'll be a palate cleanser, honestly, as well, depending on where they put it.
I'm a winner.
I don't think this match can open. This match has to be later in the show.
It does.
Like 4th or 5th, where it is
maybe
now.
Even before the main event. You don't even know.
Yeah, again, 4th or 5th for me.
Right.
But speaking of 5th, that'll go to probably, at least the way we're doing it, the women's ladder match for the interim women's world championship. I have to keep saying interim because I hate that.
Hate it too.
Really fucking hate it. So far it's Tiffany, Jade, Charlotte. I can't even see the 5th from my angle right now. And then either Julia or
Chelsea Green.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of things in this match that could go either way for me. So first of all, you have Tiffany, who is, I believe, from Minnesota, and she is your U.S. Women's Champion. She could be a double champion. You have, obviously, as you said, Chelsea Green, who, if you're going for an interim champion, Chelsea is ridiculously over and has been for a long time. And I know that people are going to be like, well, she's good at taking bumps off a ladder. Yeah, she is. But she's so much more than just that.
Right.
I think this would be a great shot to showcase her. I just don't know if they're going to pull the trigger. And that's what makes it tough for me. The other problem that I have is that because at the end of the day, let's be real, if it's an interim champion, they're going to fight Rhea down the road.
Right.
So that's the other question. Who do I want to fight Rhea? To be
Chelsea.
Honest, no, it's not. It's definitely not Chelsea. Sorry. It would probably be Tiffany.
Right.
Because I've already seen Jade and Rhea. I've already seen Charlotte and Rhea. I've not seen Tiffany and Rhea. They've tagged. They might have scuffled at one point, but I don't think they've been in a legit match, let alone for a title.
No, I don't think they have.
And let's be real, I love Chelsea Green. She's not standing toe to toe with Rhea Ripley. I'm sorry.
Probably not. No.
Lash and Julia, Lash against Rhea, they've kind of done it at War Games. I think that was the only time they ever did it. So you could do something there as well. Same with Julia, but there's a substantial size difference with Julia that can't be understated, honestly.
Right.
And same, I don't want to say same with Chelsea, but kind of the same. They're different builds. I'll say it that way, more so with Chelsea. I think they're both relatively the same height, though. It's tougher to look at it from like a purist standpoint when it comes to Chelsea, especially when you know she's going to fight Rhea down the road if she holds the title that long, depending, obviously.
Right.
It's just tough. It's just tough to say that. Whereas if you look at it with Tiffany and Lash and Julia to a certain degree, I guess, too, you could put on a good match with her and Rhea, or them and Rhea, I should say. Whereas, again, I don't think I could say that with Chelsea. But that doesn't mean that Chelsea needs to hold it that long either. That's not a bad point to make either. Maybe she's just interim champion for a month or two, and then somebody else takes it from her, and then that person faces Rhea. Like, who knows? I think if you're going to put the belt on Chelsea, though, ironically enough, despite what I'm saying, it is the time to do it. It is 100% the time to do it. And I feel like the character work that she's put in since she's come back, she's more than earned it.
She has. And it's, again, interim.
100%.
And I feel like, too, that it's a way to kind of... You made her a focal point and Unreal. So that means, in my opinion, that you have legitimate interest in making her a featured player and a star in the company. Putting her up against a returning Rhea Ripley would be an excellent program for her, just because of the fact of that for Chelsea, she can go on TV for the next 2 months and just bash her all the world and just talk about how amazing she is. And then when Rhea finally shows up again, you could just have Chelsea just be, oh my God. And
you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I feel like, is the best course of action. But again, knowing this company the way I do,
that's my problem. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that they're gonna go with Chelsea Green.
I think that if it's not Chelsea, it's Tiffany.
Probably, but I'm gonna go with Chelsea.
I don't think it's a bad choice, and I don't think mine is either. And again, I'm not saying that Tiffany is going to win or should win, but she is a former champion.
Yep.
She has not done anything with Rhea, but I think the big thing that we don't know is when is Rhea coming back, and that may or may not play a role. If it's a few months down the road, excuse me, as I hit the mic. If it's a few months down the road, it very well could be Chelsea, and they drop it. She drops it to somebody like Tiffany in the future, or to Lash, or to somebody else. If it's a month, maybe 2 months, I think it's going to be Tiffany. I'll say it that way. We don't know what we don't know, though. So I can't sit here and say that regardless that it's going to be one or the other. I do think it should be Chelsea, though. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Right.
And then I'll bring us to the main event. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Fucking Roman Reigns. Jesus, we shouldn't even be discussing this.
Yeah. I think the only way Roman loses is if somebody interferes, and that, as I said earlier, would be somebody probably from the night one triple or 6-man tag match, excuse me.
He's getting his wise man back, people.
Probably.
That is I think my big time prediction, especially the fact that it's like, oh, he leaves the Vision, no longer with the Vision, and then that's the night 2 main event. Yeah, because they're probably waiting for the coronation of Paul Heyman being the wise man again, but it's going to happen. I have a feeling leaving night 2 of SummerSlam, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are going to be hand in hand again. And I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. I'm rooting for it.
I don't know anybody who is otherwise, honestly.
Yeah. And then we can forget about the shitting the bed stench of what was Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman together and go back to when things were better.
You didn't like that?
That was awful.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I think we both made comments, but I had to play the role. Listen, at the end of the day, I think you're right about both. I do think that Paul is going to find his way back to Roman Reigns at this point, and I do think that Roman Reigns is going to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. I think it would take some kind of act of God. I kind of hate to say it that way, but it is the truth. Some kind of act of God for Seth Rollins to win. Again, I feel like if that was going to occur, it would be, somebody interfering in the match from the 6-man tag match, like an LA Knight, which I don't really see happening. Maybe a Jacob Fatu if he turns, or a Solo Sikoa if he does not turn. But I think even if there was an interference, if Solo does not turn, I still think Roman would retain either way. I think if you're going to build up a Solo versus Roman, which I don't think they're going to, by the way, but if they did, I think, obviously, that Solo would not turn at that point.
Roman retains, LOL.
Bow, pew pew. It's like, I don't want Solo to turn, but again, even if he does not turn, I still feel like even if he interfered, Roman would win. Nobody wants to be the champion right now.
This could be the last time that these two face off in a pay-per-view match. Thank God. I mean, this should be the historical significance of Roman Reigns finally being able to say, "I beat Seth Rollins." So
this is literally so. It's funny you say that because it's literally Dennis Nedry and Jurassic Park. See, nobody cares. I don't think anybody really cares about that.
Exactly.
I just don't. Listen, I get it. You're not wrong. It's hard to really care about that on the heels of his comments that are put out there about, night 2, it's not really main eventing. It's like, just shut up, Seth. Like, had those comments not been made public when they did, I would agree that, like, oh, you're right, 100%, like, can't understate that fact, and, like, all this other stuff, but, like, no. He comes out, makes those comments, I'm just like, dude, stop talking. Just stop. But, all good things, unfortunately.
Not
I don't always get what I want, so.
He's just not compelling. He's just a wine bag.
It's not even that he's not compelling. I'm not going to sit here and disagree wholeheartedly with you, but I think there are times that, he's not compelling. But I also think that you have to look at the comments holistically. He's not wrong to say that a lot of people don't consider it the main event. And I get that. And I'm not even going to say he's inherently wrong. But he also kind of is. I understand that there are some circles that treat the main event of night 1 as not the main event, because it's not the true final match. But there are other people that say, no, you look at them as an extension of the same show. They're two separate shows. You main evented night 1. It's still a main event. And they've done that in the past, because you've had guys like Sami Zayn say he main evented WrestleMania because he main evented night 1. He's not wrong to say that. He did. Him and Kevin Owens against the Usos for night 1 of Mania a few years ago. That was the main event of Mania night 1. He's not wrong.
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens, night 1 of WrestleMania a couple of years ago as well. Same thing. That's the main event of night 1. I get your interpretation. I'm not going to sit here and say it's wrong, or Seth's, I should really say. But I also see the other side of like, well, technically it's a main event, but night 2 is really the marquee main event.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like you should judge it by the card. That's what I'll say. Because if you look at night 1 when it was him, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, and night 2 was night 2, I'm just going to say it that way because I hated it. I would argue that night 1 was the main event because night 2 was so fucking bad. It's like this SummerSlam show. Yeah, you're main eventing night 2. You're also main eventing the weaker night.
Yes.
Whereas CM Punk and Cody Rhodes is probably going to be the match that more people will remember because it's on the better night.
Unless Roman and Paul Heyman get back together.
Unless I would just argue unless night 2 is that much better in terms of the main event. Yeah. Either way, though, same thing if you ask me. I don't like the comments. It demeans the night 1. And I think that if you're going to remember this match, it is exactly for the reason that Dan just said. Because Paul Heyman got back together with Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Not because Roman and Seth put on a hell of a match, which they very well could.
They very well could, but it's going to be tough to overshadow some of the other matches on the card.
Well, like I said, that's why I said it. That's why I think that Chad and Penta are going to steal the show. In terms of, match quality, pace of match, I think they have a real shot to steal the show.
They do, without question.
Especially night 2.
Especially night 2.
Maybe the weekend too, depending. But I think it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be a decent show. I'm not gonna sit here and say otherwise. I would still reiterate the comments I started with that it's going to be the tale of 2 nights, but we'll just kind of have to see how the show actually progresses. But should we talk a little bit about AEW? You think?
No.
No, you don't want to talk about AEW.
I think it's been enough. I think it's been enough of a preview, and it's just, other than the fact that Willow beat Thekla, which I am not a real fan of.
I don't know anybody that is. I'm going to say it that way.
I mean, even though this was like apparently Tony's plan, whatever. I didn't expect
Thekla so bad out of that.
I do. I agree. I think Thekla has done enough, and you've kind of just screwed her over. And it's kind of how they did it last year with Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. So I mean, both companies have done this in the last year.
They have.
So it's been the last 6 months. What am I talking about?
I mean, dude, they just did Sammy with CM Punk anyways.
Right. I mean, it's just like these phantom championship, transitional champions, where you can make the argument that now Kenny is not a transitional champion because he defended the title at a pay-per-view before he faces off against Ospreay, and then to Ospreay turning.
That's right.
Just
didn't see that happening.
God.
As soon as I read that, I threw my hands up, man. I threw my hands up. I was like, of course. I knew it was going to happen. I knew.
And then Kenny hits him with the one wing angel to end the show. It's just like, all right, well, it makes sense. No, doesn't.
I rolled my eyes a little bit because apparently, I didn't watch it, but I read the recap. Apparently, Hangman offered Will any help he wanted. He's like, no, I can't trust anybody or whatever, and I can't trust Kenny. And then Kenny hits him with the one wing angel at the end of the show.
I will say this, because I do know one of the matches for All In, other than Will Ospreay and Kenny, the Young Bucks versus Cope and Christian.
What about it?
That actually should be good.
I'm not. Here's what we're gonna do. We're not going to talk about that until it gets closer.
Okay.
This weekend is SummerSlam. I do at least want to give them at least the redemption overview because we did review it,
Yes.
preview it. So I'll go through the matches right now just very quickly. The Conglomeration retained their AEW Trio Championship, which is Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly against Lethal Twist, which is Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson. That was on the buy-in or pre-show, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. So there was also the 6-way ladder match to determine the AEW International Championship #1 contender. We talked about that last week because of why you're doing a ladder match for a #1 contender.
But why?
Yeah. Speaking of but why, Mike Bailey won that match.
Yeah, I saw that.
Speedball Mike Bailey defeated Jack Perry, the Beast Mortis, Commander, Nick Wayne, and El Clone in that ladder match. The Young Bucks defeated the Death Riders, so Matt and Nick Jackson defeated John Moxley and Will Ospreay with Marina Shafir in a tag match. The AEW International Championship, Kyle Fletcher retained against Bandito. In the double chain tag match, the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors, defeated Bang Bang Gang, which is Jay White and Juice Robinson. I don't know why I say Jay Lethal. AEW TBS Championship, My World defeated Hikaru Shida to become the new TBS champion.
Good for Maya's World.
I agree. Cage and Cope defeated the Death Riders, Claudio and Pac in a World Tag Team Championship. The Painmaker, Chris Jericho, defeated Tommaso Ciampa via submission in a No Hold Barred match. Andrade defeated Mark Davis to become the new AEW National Champion. The biggest shock of the weekend, I think, we already kind of alluded to, Willow Nightingale defeated Thekla to become the new AEW Women's World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
And surprising, quote unquote, no shock to anybody really, Kenny Omega defeats Kevin Knight for the AEW World Championship.
How the hell did this happen?
Yep. I did not really find any surprises in this, except for, as I kind of already alluded to, Willow versus Thekla. That was the only surprise I felt of the night. Jericho winning, not that all surprising. A little, but not really. Andrade winning the national championship, not surprising at all. Kenny retaining, not surprising at all. Cage and Christian winning, again, not surprising at all.
Not surprising.
Maya World and Hikaru Shida, I was on the fence about either way. I'm glad that Maya World won, obviously. Fletcher versus Bandito, not really surprising. The Dogs defeating Bang Bang Gang, not surprising. Young Bucks winning, not surprising. Mike Bailey winning,
surprising-ish.
That's surprising-ish, yeah. But at that point, I didn't know who was going to win that match anyways. Like, when the biggest name in that match is fucking Jack Perry, it's hard to say who you think is going to win. Just going to say it that way. And the Conglomeration...
Trouble Jack Perry!
Yeah, don't do that. The Conglomeration winning, whatever. Like, I didn't think they were going to drop the belts either way. So, I say justice for Jordan Grace a lot. Justice for Thekla here, too. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
She's definitely proved herself as the AEW Women's Champion. She's great in the ring.
Yes.
She's had great matches as champion. I am going to pose the question here to you. And I wonder how much hate we'll get for this. But do you feel that, regardless of whether this was Tony's call or not, do you feel that Mercedes played a role in this?
Probably.
Okay. I would agree with that statement.
Probably.
But she's not the booker, right? She's not the booker.
I think that she may have been concerned that Thekla would take the shine off her in the feud because she is starting to cross over.
I agree.
And Willow is somebody also that she can trust. She's worked with before.
Yep.
Where Thekla, it's like she's kind of a wild card, especially too if she's hammered. But still, like,
No comment.
no comment.
Keeping that one out. I just it reeks of a Mercedes decision, and I hate to kind of say it that way, but it is how I felt when I first saw the news that Thekla did not retain. I would have liked that match a lot better. And again, I need to be clear. This is nothing against Willow. I think Willow is great. I've heard that she's an incredibly nice person as well. I'm very happy that she won. I don't like the booking decision, though, coming into your top pay-per-view of the year to just randomly decide that, oh, hey, we're going to give it to you today.
Right.
It feels like it's Mercedes kind of went to Tony like, hey, so at All In, I don't really want to face Thekla. I want to face Willow because I'm cool with her. And
Yeah.
it kind of like Lumber from Office Space. So can you come in on Saturday? Okay, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thekla's kind of funny. I don't know. I don't think it doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
I think you should move it, Tony.
That was the other thing. It doesn't work for me. Bro.
Yeah.
I just and listen, congrats though, Willow. I'm not gonna say otherwise. Like I said, I think she's a great talent. I've heard she's very nice. Like I said, I have not heard anything negative about Willow Nightingale. I just, when you're coming into your biggest pay per view of the year, it's like CM Punk beating Sami Zayn. And granted, SummerSlam is not their biggest of the year. I would say it's their number 2 show though of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, so Sammy, you're gonna win the belts, but CM Punk's gonna come back and beat you. Why? Because SummerSlam's right around the corner. Okay, but why? Because it's CM Punk and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. That's why.
Yes.
Like this is how that feels as well, but a little bit less the Cody and CM Punk, but more the. So our biggest female talent doesn't really want to work with you. So
Yep.
we're gonna need you to drop the belt to somebody that she wants to work with. Okay, who? Willow Nightingale.
All right.
Fuck it. Okay. Like I guess.
Yeah, it does smell like a Mercedes decision on this one, because it doesn't make sense in my world on this one.
Really doesn't
And
mind either, honestly.
yeah, are we good for the night? I feel like that we've gotten through everything. Yeah. Everybody enjoy SummerSlam. If you can make it to the theater, I would. You're going to. At least for night 1, because night 2, it's just like, this is a dud. But night
listen,
1,
I'm not gonna say it's a dud, but it's tale of 2 shows, man.
it is.
Night 1 is stacked. Night 2, not so much. Night 2 looks good. I'll say it that way.
It does. Not great, but good.
Not great, but good. Yeah, 100%.
So everybody enjoy SummerSlam. We'll be back next week to review. Technical difficulties, folks. So we'll be back next week to talk about SummerSlam. Bye, everybody.